Up until this point in Ashes of Creation, I've been solo grinding. Recently, I got into a group to heal or do whatever bards do. But really, it's kind of healing. I'm not set up for really healing. I eventually changed a skill where I could replenish everyone's mana. But this is basically my build where I have all the, if you could like, subscribe, share, unsubscribe, resubscribe, appreciate it. If you could let other people know that might be interested in this type of seeing a fake headset and a fake YouTuber with props. Oh gosh, YouTube, that's me smashing into the camera. It's light out, YouTube. So, Ashes of Creation, let's talk about like the group and everything that's going on in the group. This group, I'm gonna make that, I don't know, anyways. Bard is enough to heal easily in this. You got a spec, kinda, you have a heal over time, a hot, and then you can add an extra charge, so I have 2 charges of that. And then you have a heal that you gotta kinda select, it's kinda hidden. You can make it a group heal or a single heal. You're gonna make it a single heal, and then you're gonna buff that one extra, so it puts a damage shield on the person as well as healing them. And typically, if you have a tank in the group, you're gonna put the hot on the tank, and then you're gonna put the heal on them that shields them, so they'll get the full benefit of the hot, and they'll get most of the benefit of their healing. And then I have an emergency. In single player, you can make a thing called a damage shield, and it pulses 4 heals, 50% of your healing power, I guess, I don't know. And it shields you at the same time. And before this, it was marginal kind of skill, but it's great in a group. You can see I just did it over there. And it's pretty good. And I do a nice little animation dancing when I do it. Like in most games, you're gonna draw some aggro if you just supercharge healing. You can't really see it because I got the screen narrowed, but I never really run out of mana. It's not an issue for me. Just when I built this character, I just equipped whatever dropped, right? I had no purpose. I don't believe in purpose building characters that are low levels. I don't know what the level cap in here is, but it's tough grinding up. Like already at going from 11 to 12 was a grind, and going to 12, 13 was a grind, and it's quite a bit. And so you can keep up with everything pretty good. The area we're in is called something. It's going to come up on the screen eventually, and then we'll tell you what it is. These are 2 different sessions, basically with the same people. I had a tank, so I mainly kept an eye out on the tank. The healing conventions in Ashes of Creation, you can use the function keys, select the party members. Obviously, if you have an AoE heal, you just got to get close. A lot of the skills for Bard are available to be used while you're moving, so it's pretty great. The negative thing for me when I was running with, maybe people are a couple levels lower than the content, is that I probably should have been doing DPS. So sometimes I'm always doing this equation. Should we kill them faster, or should I sit back and heal? And of course, I don't ever think about myself healing. There's another bard in the group, but they were lower level, so I don't expect them to do the heal. I expect them. I usually, you don't see it in the right screen, but on the left screen, when you see this green aura around me, that's giving everyone a 25% chance that they'll get 50% of their damage they've done back in health. And that's kind of tops them off. There's another skill you can use, gives them 2% all the time, no matter what the health. I think the bigger spike of heals is better. That's what I found. Maybe you have a group of all tanks and you don't want to waste mana topping them off. You might do that. It's one of the few times I'm just going to keep the content on the content. I'm not going to stroll all over the place. I might too. I might be a liar in this respect. And I got a surprise for you at a certain point. So it's pretty easy. Everyone stays alive. There's a couple of times where we overextend and we wipe. And here's the negative about wiping is you get a XP debt. And none of your XP will count towards your level until you erase it. It'll count towards your weapon, experience, which is nice. So it's a nice blend. But as you get higher, I'm level 12, 13, and I died, and it's enough that you don't want to die anymore. And so in other videos and other games, I might fight to the last bit, right? But not in this, not when there's a penalty. The other thing is people can loot your remains. I did that like when I first got it. I was like, oh, loot. I was trying to res them, couldn't. I think clerics have a res. I'm not positive. I don't have a res right now, so that's brutal. But usually when we're wiping, we're wiping. So I didn't, maybe I did. I'm not sure if I videotaped. We went into a dungeon, my first dungeon. We were just smoking through it until we got to the boss. Don't know the mechanics. We're in too deep, and then we wiped. Also, I'm one of those people that hang out in the area, and then hopefully I'll get an invite to heal. And this group did, and they eventually invited me to the guild. So the guild's name is Mythic, so I'm part of that. So hopefully they're not doing anything bad. And we really didn't communicate that much. I didn't tell them that I was recording the video and I was gonna show them in all their glory. And maybe to put it in perspective, if I didn't have it dual screen, then maybe you would have got to see the health and how, the strategy. But basically, in these groups, you have to keep the tank alive. This is a traditional MMORPG. It has the Trinity, tank, healer, DPS. So we have a group of 5, we have a tank. And normally I'm putting my big heal, it's my number 5. And then I'm putting the hot on that person all the time, and then everyone else is pretty good. If I gotta tap everyone off, I do that shielding, which pulses some heals. And when you see shields go on everyone, that's me pulsing that. And for a group, I'm redoing, it's called Rune Blast Divine is where we're at. I started in the northern part. Northern part of Ashes of Creation doesn't seem like it has as many quests, but it has Minotaurs, and I like fighting Minotaurs. I have nothing against Minotaurs. If you're a Minotaur, I have nothing against you. You just yield sweet, juicy XP. Sorry for your luck, sir. Or madam, whatever floats your boat, Minotaur people. On the left, we're going to go to, there's a cave that you're getting in. We're going to get Rune Blast Divide again, not Divine. Can't read. Or I'm blind. One of the problems of going into places quickly is that you might bypass spawns that you're not aware of. So what happens is you might get trapped where someone spawns behind you, which is really not a problem unless you overpull at one end, and when you're trying to retreat, you retreat back into more mobs. There was a time when I wouldn't get mad, but I'd be like, man, I couldn't save everyone. But I've come to realize I don't control the pulls in the group. I just control the heals. I control the reaction. And that's probably why I don't play tank. Playing tank, right, you're really controlling how much XP the group's getting. So if you don't push, if you're ultra conservative, you're a little slow. We're at the right pace, this tank. Happens to be the guild leader also. Did a great job pulling. There's a couple times where we got head over heels, but And what we did, you can see on the right, there are steps that go up to this area. And when we were more junior, we would fight our way up the steps. There was like 4 sets of 2 mobs, fight some people in the landing, and then eventually turn around and go back down the steps and kill them. Excuse me, we would zero their health. If you're allowed to say that anymore, YouTube. Again, I have a cleric, but I never group with them, and they're level 6. And I didn't play it because it wasn't impressive to me. It was more like a paladin in that it had big, decent heals, but there was no hots, and they were just big heals. And there's only so many you can do. There, like if you have a cleric, and they're, you know, here's the good things about Ashes of Creation. You can wear whatever armor you want. And what I found in most games when you're leveling, if you can't have gear that gives you boosted XP, like ESO, then you want gear that has the most health, because you just want to last. You just don't want to be that person that's a glass cannon. What's a glass cannon? A glass cannon in MMO parlance is someone that does a lot of damage, but they die really easy. In those cases, as a healer, if that person... Okay, let's talk about World of Warcraft real quick. Hunters were a damage-dealing class, but they had a pet. So that in their mind, and they had some melee skills, so in their mind, they would try to melee. And here's the problem. When you're the healer, there's one person that you need to heal, and that's the tank, because they have skills that can taunt enemies towards them so they can control the mobs out there. Hunter doesn't have that, so when they go up there, and if they out-damage the tank's aggro is the word for like getting the attention of the mobs, and you get that either by healing or doing a ton of damage, or there's skills that will actually taunt. So he's out-damaging the tank's taunt, so the damage goes to him, he's not geared for it, and they go down. Down goes Frazier. As a healer, we're on to, that's it for that, YouTube. Here's the mystery content. It's another mountain. Now, I left you unfulfilled last time. There'll be no unfulfillment today, YouTube. Or will there be? I don't know why I like non-human characters so much, but I do. Kind of the same construct as before. Here's what I learned last time. You're going to see at a certain point, you're going to see I want to go right. And then you can see I think about it, and then I go back to the left. And that was about being a creature of habit. I'm going to give you a view of the old mountain. I'm going left this time, YouTube. I have to say, I like Ashes of Creation. I like being able to climb these mountains because they're more mountainy than like other games that I've been on. ESO has some mountains, but you can't climb them. It's like it's a plane and it goes into... I'm sure this took time. Maybe they had AI make a mountain that's climbable by this path or whatever. So I'm looking around. That snowy peak over there, that's where we were before. To the over there to the right a little bit, way right. Sorry, YouTube. I'm gonna go around there slowly and let you get to it. Maybe I should just start climbing. There it is over there. You'll see behind that peak. I think that's it. That might be it. So I'm at the same quandary where I was before. How do I get up now? I don't go to the right. I still go left. And now I'm really all in. Sorry, my voice is cracking. Now I'm really all in because I'm really going to the left now. So jumping in there, that looks like a good spot. Looking good, YouTube. I think my cat or dog was messing with me. And I told you before, in one of those older games, you could jump up through those cracks. I've done it a little bit sometimes, but it's not going to work here. That's why I'm trying it. I told you last time it doesn't work, but it did work a couple times. I cannot help but to try that. I should probably hide my chat box. The screen is like way too busy. And I didn't need the mini map for sure. Look at that diving board right there. Well, YouTube, am I going to make it or am I going to leave you hanging high and dry? So I decided to give you a vista. That's that mountain I tried to climb. If I don't make it, at least I gave you a vista shot. All right, let's try it. The final assault. Ooh, I'm close. Ooh, so I'm on another plateau. There's the peak. There's the mountain we tried to climb. There's whatever this planet's moon is. Are they going to let me up, YouTube? Ta-da! That's the city I came from. That's the peak. Look at me using graphics. This is Ronin Kaze. Thank you, YouTube. Out.